I'm good.
All right. So, just a little introduction, although all these people who are commenting on the bottom seem to know you and support you and love you. Andrea and I know each other from college and reconnected, I guess, like in the last couple of years,
Yeah.
since I'm in Florida and caught up on everything from college and all of our funny stories and boy stories and all that good stuff. We were wanting to do this a few months ago, and then Andrea unfortunately had a few challenges that delayed the process, but we're fortunately here now. And I am just going to pass the mic to you and let you share really whatever you want to share. This is your time.
Well, my name's Andrea. I'm 37 and I am in the ICU right now waiting for a double lung transplant. I got one 7.5 years ago, and unfortunately this year I just kept getting sick. I got COVID, I got pneumonias, and one thing led to another. And on August 10th, I collapsed and was taken to the emergency room. I had no pulse, no blood pressure, wasn't breathing. They brought my family into a room with a social worker to tell them, we think this is the end of the road for her. And I don't know, one thing led to another, and miracle after miracle, I'm still here. And I'm healthy enough to wait to get a transplant now.
Amazing. So, I guess this whole podcast, I started it because I wanted to interview and share stories of people who have been through a lot of shit, excuse my language, and how they've sort of made their experiences into something positive. So just, I guess, share, like, I know you've had so many ups and downs over the entire course of your life, I mean, since you were diagnosed, but just sort of tell people what allows you to stay positive and what motivates you and what silver linings have you found in this whole process?
Sure. First off, I don't know any different. So I think in a weird way that helps. I've never been perfectly healthy. I've never really gone without being able to take medication or consider whether I can go away to college or job or, what kind of boyfriend or husband, if I was going to get married, have children. Cystic fibrosis has always been a part of my life, and I really don't know life without it. I think the silver lining for sure is that I've had almost everything taken away from me, and when you lose something and you get it back, it's so much sweeter. It's like they say the youth is wasted on the young, and for me, I got as sick as anyone could ever be, knocking on death's door, and then I got my life back. And normally when you get that sick, that's it for you. But I had a comeback. And so, I haven't been outside. I've gone outside maybe 5 times in the last 3 months. So when you're someone like me, going outside, just being in fresh air, seeing raindrops, trees, feeling the humidity, that's all amazing. I've gone without food or water for 8 or 9 days. Actually, recently, I stopped eating completely and was relying on a feeding tube. So I didn't eat food for 2.5 months. So the first time I had a bite of a baked potato, it was the most incredible flavor of my entire life. So it's just small little things like that when you don't have the luxury of waking up and having your body show up for you every day, it's just, you just love all the small little miracles of your day. Even just brushing your teeth, that gets you, when you have lung disease, everything makes you out of breath. Making your bed, walking, I haven't been able to not to get gross, but I'm in an ICU. I'm on life support. I miss going to the bathroom by myself. Like, the small, simple pleasures in life. And I guess because I get little bits of joy like that, it makes me keep going. Like, getting a foot massage, having my friends come and visit and do my nails, and it all makes me happy. And so CF has been an amazing experience because I don't believe that many people my age live and experience life the way I do, and I think it's hard to appreciate. I think I noticed it a lot during motherhood. I had a baby via gestational carrier, and it's very hard to get pregnant. It's hard to get through that process. I didn't know if how long I'd be alive to raise him, and I felt so lucky to be a mom that I didn't mind when he peed on me by accident while I was putting him in the bath, or every little tantrum. I have videos of his meltdowns because it was just every part of being a mom. It wasn't a given to me. I was never that girl that grew up being I'm going to get married and have 3 children and live here. Nothing was handed to me and nothing was guaranteed. So you really learn to appreciate the small, a cold sip of water. When you go 9 days without drinking water, that first sip is just to die for. It's amazing.
I love that. Her outlook is it's so incredible. I didn't even know when I was putting together the newsletter and the post, I was I don't even really know how to explain her. You're going to just watch, you're going to meet her, and you're going to know that any little, thing that irritates you or bothers you in your life is just so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And that's what I always hope for these lives and these episodes and the people that I'm interviewing, is that you can just take away a little bit of something. So if you're having a bad day or you're stuck in a rut or you want to make a change in your life, go ahead and do it, because life is short, as we both unfortunately know from your experience and my experience with loss. And you just have to make the best of it, and you have to be as happy as you possibly can be, and you have to really push yourself to be happy. Nobody can make you happy. You're the only person who can put you in that positive place is yourself. So I think it's really helpful for people to hear your story and see how strong and resilient you are, to help motivate them to do the same thing for themselves as well.
I will say also, I'm on a very therapeutic, wonderful anti-anxiety medication. This is not miraculous. I'm not I can get through anything. Everybody needs help. And I went on medication probably 10 years ago, was having debilitating anxiety. It's been the best thing. It's when someone's if you're on an island and you need 1 or 2 things to bring with you, my anti-anxiety drug is coming with, for sure. So this is not, I don't like to make people feel bad, oh, look how much she can get through and I can't handle anything. I work hard at it. I go to therapy, I take medication, and I ask for help. People reach out, they want to do something for me, I say yes, and I ask for help. I was a very proud person, but at a certain point, you've got to let your support system show up for you.
I think that's also even just a good lesson for me. Again, our situations are very different, but we both have experienced hardships. I call my anti-anxiety pills my crazy pills, and I also live for them, because if it weren't for them and what just happened with my brother, I don't think I would be as even keel as I am. But I also am like you. I'm too proud. I don't like to ask for help. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm a burden. So with everything that's been going on with my dad when he passed, and then with my brother more recently, I just put everything on myself. I do it all of myself, just because part of me feels like it does take the pressure off the emotional part of it and the thoughts that I have, but then I do realize like there is a strong burnout period, and if you don't let people come in and help and take that burden off of you, then eventually you're just gonna, implode emotionally.
Yeah, I also look at it, the flip side of it is that there's so many people that love you and they're so helpless.
Yeah.
And they want to do something. They can't bring your dad back. They can't bring your brother back. They can't cure me. They can't get me lungs. I can't be fixed. So the small things that people can do, it fills their cup too. People feel helpless.
Yeah.
So when they're like, I'm thinking of you, is there anything I can bring you? Great, sure. I'd love a smoothie, or I'd love a visit, or, mail me some nail polish, or whatever it is. Like, if you're on the other side of it and you see somebody struggling, you want to do something.
Yeah.
And so I let people help me. I let people bring me a little piece of joy, a little something yummy to eat, a smile on my face, a coloring book, whatever.
All right, now I know I'm going to come visit you with a smoothie.
Oh, good. Love
You
that.
tell me what day works and I am coming to visit. Now you're in trouble.
Okay. Come on down.
So I guess walk us a little bit through. I mean, you've had a lot of, struggles with, different ailments, different illnesses, different, cancers and things like that. But I think the most fascinating, which I'd love you to share more about, is the surrogacy process and you being in North Carolina at Duke awaiting your transplant, your first transplant when Bryce was born. So talk a little bit about that. I just think that's such a unique,
wild.
and how you handled it was just such, like, it was just so incredible to watch and see all the positivity. And I just remember being so happy for you and so excited when I saw all of that on social media.
So after we got married, I knew I wasn't going to carry. It was a personal choice that everybody makes. I didn't want to do it. Fortunately, we were able to go through a surrogacy process. And so we started, years ago. And then by the time you've done your egg retrieval and you've done the embryo freezing, you find the right person, you get pregnant. We got pregnant, and then a month later, I got the flu, and I never recovered.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of a sudden, it was such a weird experience. I was like heading towards my death almost. Like every day I was sicker and sicker and on oxygen. My oxygen needs would go up. I'm getting listed on a lung transplant list while like there's life growing inside of this woman's body. It's going to be my baby. And it was mind blowing and beyond difficult to try to cope with. So I did one day at a time. That's all I could handle.
Yeah.
I started to be like, what if?
Mm-hmm.
And it felt too scary, too overwhelming. So I did the 1 foot in front of the other. And again, I was blessed with amazing support system. And Bryce was born in Orlando while I was on the lung transplant waiting list. They gave me the option, if you want to go to the birth, you can, but we have to take you off the list. And I just felt like I needed to do everything I could
to be there for him.
My life for the long run. So I FaceTimed the birth. It was the most amazing, horrible experience. It was beautiful and it was tragic. You can't stay on FaceTime the whole day. So after the baby's born, he was bathed and I got to look at him. You hang up the phone and you're like, I'm a mom, but I have no baby. My husband's not with me. Mm-hmm. I didn't go through pregnancy. I haven't. And then there's pictures of people holding your child before you get to. It was incredibly difficult. but I just stayed focused on the long game. I'm gonna meet him, I'm gonna see him, but I have to be on the top of my game. I've got to be as healthy as can be. So what Bryce needs me to do is to stay where I am, work out, take care of myself, and 48 hours later, I finally got to hold him and have him in my arms. I did have some issues bonding, but I don't think it was because of the surrogacy. I think it was because it happens. Like, when you feel like you're losing your life, you pull away emotionally from the people that you love because it hurts too much, and you want to, like, kind of prepare them to be without you. So I watched my grandfather go through the death process, and he got quieter and less opinionated, and all of a sudden you're all there with hospice care, and everyone's talking to each other, and the patient's kind of just quiet. And it happened to me. I got withdrawn from people. I mean, I'm physically with them, but emotionally, it's too painful. So I, like, held on to Bryce, and I knew that I loved him, but until I knew I was gonna be alive for him, it was gonna be too scary to, like, really, really bond. And it actually took me a very long time, because from the transplant, 5 months later, I got lymphoma. So it really wasn't until the first full year, and I knew that I was gonna survive and be able to be with him, that I really, like, felt that intense, like, connection and love. And it's kind of embarrassing and taboo, I think, to say that. But I didn't, like, my friends talk about, like, the moment their child came out and your feelings, and I didn't have that. But it's okay, because I knew eventually I would have it. And I absolutely have it now.
No, I think that makes perfect sense. And I think that was just such an interesting thing to hear from somebody, because you don't think about that. And I know with my experience with my dad, my brother's was different because it was sudden. But with my dad, like, the person tries to protect you and themselves.
Yeah.
Why, like, with my dad, we never even had a conversation with him about what might happen, because I think it would have been too hard for him to say goodbye to my mom and I, because how do you do that? You know, that you love, you can't. So I completely understand and respect, and I don't think it's weird or taboo. I think it's what you have to do to protect yourself and those around you.
Yeah, so when people ask me about surrogacy, I think there's no difference. Bonding, I really think if you took out the piece where I was not sure if I'd wake up the next day, it would have happened immediately. Yeah.
So I saw the other day Bryce came to visit.
He did.
So how often are you able to see him and spend time with him? So
he usually comes, like, once a week on the weekends, and the visits are, I'm in a sterile, stark white, icky kind of hospital room. I've got a lot of stuff coming out of me, but we try to make it as nice as possible. So he colors. I have him. One time we did a movie night. He came in his PJs, and we watched a movie and popcorn, and I put him in the bed next to me. So we make it work, and I'm just happy to see him.
That's what I was just gonna say. For you, you're just happy he's there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so great. I'm trying to think, what other questions, what other advice. I feel like you know what you want to talk about. It's hard for me to ask questions when you're in a situation that really only you can relate to and you can understand, and the people obviously who are going through something similar. So just, I want you to just share whatever you want to share while you
Sure. I
talking.
am on life support, but I talk, I eat, I walk. It's not necessarily what everyone would think. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like in a bed, in a coma, living off of machines. I am living off of a machine called ECMO,
Yeah.
but I do watch Go Dolphins,
I know.
watch the Dolphin games,
By the way,
and
we had to start later in the day because she had to watch her Dolphins at 1 o'clock.
of course. So I still try to have somewhat of a schedule in my day, and I just signed up for, I have to do continuing education for my broker's associate license, and I'm sitting around, so now's the time.
To study.
So life support doesn't necessarily look and seem like what you think, so I want that to be out there. Also, I want everybody to be an organ donor. Um, it's a terrible tragedy when somebody passes away, and I would never wish that on anybody. But out of the tragedy, if you have the opportunity, you can save, it's like 8 or 9 people's lives. It's lungs, kidneys, eye tissue, heart, liver, pancreas. It's an amazing gift. I never got to meet my donor's family. That was our connection. With Sincerely, I had this vision. I'm going to get my donor's handwriting and I'm going to make a necklace. I'm going to give Romy the pictures of the handwriting and I'm going to do it. But I think maybe my wish and that like strong feeling I had about it is maybe for this donor.
Right.
And I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
Because I'm going through it again. I'm on the wait list. It's been 4 weeks and 2 days. Not that I'm counting. And maybe this is the donor that I get to have my beautiful necklace or
We'll make them
bracelet.
whatever they want.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we'll see.
And I'm glad you mentioned that about organ donation. I actually thought about you, and I don't know if this is going to sound weird, but when my brother passed away, they asked about organ donation. And my brother was very scientific, and he was a dentist, but he loved medicine and was very passionate about all of those things. So we had to find his license. We had to find all of his information. I didn't know, but I was like, for some reason, like keeping my fingers crossed that he was an organ donor, because in my mind, I was like, Andrea's on the wait list. I mean, my brother was a guy and he's a bit bigger, but even so, I was just like, I had this thought where if like one thing could be so terrible, but it could somehow, parlay into something so wonderful. And then we found his license and it wasn't on there, and the circumstances were just so terrible that it was just one of those difficult.
Yeah.
I do believe very strongly personally in organ donation, and I know how wonderful it is. One of my closest friends, she may be on here watching, is actually a pediatric liver transplant doctor, and she currently has a little girl who's very young on the organ transplant list, and we talk about it all the time, and I check in every day and I'm like, how is she doing? What's the latest? So if any of you, now have changed your minds about organ donation after talking to Andrea, I think we should all, update our licenses tomorrow.
It's an amazing gift.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about getting closure and trying to make sense out of a loss. I mean, I really wanted to meet my donor family because if they knew what their lungs did for me and my son and my husband and my mom, my brother, my friends, it's incredible. It's incredible. You save people's lives. And I wouldn't want anyone, you're not going to die so you can be an organ donor, but if it happens, because death happens, make some lemonade out of it. I've also spoken to a couple of rabbis, I know some people think that there's religious reasons why it's counterintuitive, but if you want to ask any questions about that, you can. Organ donation absolutely is kosher. It's kosher. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know, because I think you're right. People don't have all of the specific information, and I think people think you have to go back into the earth the way that you were brought into the earth, and so organ against that, but that is also really helpful to know.
Yeah, Judaism values life so much that even the Orthodox rabbis I spoke to absolutely are for organ donation. So,
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that anybody can do to help support you or the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, or really anything?
Just appreciate your life. Appreciate the moment that you're in. You wake up every day and your body's just there. It's just breathing for you. Your heart's pumping. Your appetite's there. Your legs are moving. Your arms, like, I don't have that. And every day that you wake up and pop out of bed, it's an amazing gift. And I just find one part of your day that you appreciate. A sip of lemonade, a drive in the car, a good song, a kiss from your mom, whatever it is. Find one part of every day that you feel joy, because I am still here because I want it so bad. I want to live so bad. I'm so stubborn. I'm so determined. Like, get out of my way. Like, when the surgery's happening, I'm like, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to make myself walk. I'm going to be in pain and miserable, but it's not going to matter. I'm going to be alive. And that means if you're alive, endless opportunities for joy and love. So that's what you all can do for me. Don't take it for granted.
Amazing. I was just going to tell you that I'm in the group chat with everybody who says Talheem for you throughout the day. And I know that Adam and your mom update us every so often. Yes. And I always love the posts where your mom or Adam will say that the nurses and the doctors say that they have never seen anything like this. You're strolling around the floor on ECMO, dancing. I think I saw friends just came to visit and posted that you guys were like walking and dancing. And yeah, it's so incredible to me. I mean, I'm like sitting here crying while you're crying. And I just like, I wish there was something that I could do to, like, you know, I don't know.
I've got everything I need.
I know.
Really do. I've got the medical support I need. I have an amazing family and friends, and I'm on the transplant list. I'm given the opportunity to continue living. So that's all I need. I need a set of lungs. I need to know that it's possible and that it's going to happen. And that's it.
All right. Well, we'll do the lung dance. Whatever you believe in.
Okay.
Pray for lungs. Do the lung dance. Push lungs out to whoever you know. I also was going to say, one of my girlfriends, and this could be really great for everybody here. She's been here the last couple of nights when it goes off, but she has a gratitude alarm that goes off at 8:00 every single day. And she just takes that moment to just say what she's grateful for, what her life she appreciates. And it could be as simple as us sitting here watching a shitty show and being together. And I think that everybody, just based on the fact that you want everyone to live and take every single minute of their life, you know, and live it to the max, I think we should all set a gratitude alarm in honor of Andrea and send out positive lung vibes at 8:00 every single night. And then additionally, just know what you're thankful for. And, you know, remind yourself at that 8:00 mark, like, if you're having a down day or, you feel like you should be doing more in your life to make yourself happy, like take just a minute to remind yourself of that and say, what would Andrea do? Because you would do something incredible, and you're going to do something incredible
Yeah.
along. So I think that's
Wait.
for people.
All I want to do is have all these cords off of me. I want to take a shower, put on comfy PJs, and sit on my couch with my family. I cannot wait for that moment. And it's going to happen, and it's going to be soon.
It's going to happen.
And I'm happy to do another good grief. I don't know. I feel like there's so many different topics, and
I know.
if anybody felt like there were areas that we didn't touch upon that they want to know about, or, that's fine with me.
Okay, great. I think that's a good thing. So if anybody after this, feel free to message myself or Andrea and let us know anything more specific. And then I think we'll definitely do one after your new set of lungs, so we can have a virtual celebration for all of these people who have never met you or don't live close by, because I think that would be.
So you can follow me, Breathe with Ange. Also, I have a Caring Bridge page, which my husband, my mom, and my family update. But I don't know, everybody have a wonderful Sunday evening. Take a shower, put on comfy PJs, and sit on your couch. That's all I want to do.
And in 2.5 hours at 8 o'clock, set your gratitude alarm, and
there you go.
And what you can do to just be happier in your own life.
And if all you have to be grateful for is that you're alive in that moment, then that's what it is.
Exactly right. So after this, once we're done, I'll share your Caring Bridge. I'll share your Instagram handle. And then additionally, one of Andrea's very close friends is doing a walk for Andrea this month. We're a big group of people. Rachel and I have been talking, and a certain amount of donations. I have all of the information. I don't want to repeat anything incorrectly. So as soon as this is over, I'm going to share on my stories as well how you can get involved and get out there and either walk or run for Andrea. And like I said, a portion of those proceeds, based on the amount of miles you walk in the amount of time that's left in November, will go towards benefiting Cystic.
Yeah, my good friend Rachel Johnson has a business called AMI, and Romy's going to share all the info, but it's an amazing group of people, and everybody goes for their runs, their walks, and I go for my strolls around here with my music. So join us.
All right. Well, please take care. Honestly, I will send you a separate text to find out when you're available and when I can bring you a smoothie and come say hello. But
perfect.
Have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you again for reaching out and wanting to do this. I know you have a lot going on.
Hosting.
And we'll talk soon.
Bye.